Van Morrison's Bullet Girl here, issue 4, the final issue of the mini-series. We looked at issue 1 before, so let's skip 2 entire issues and look at the last one now. I really like this character, Bullet Girl. That is her on the cover. I think of the Van Morrison revamps. He did this, he did Satana, he did Miracle Man, Gladiator, Frankenstein. I think this was the best one, and it is a pity Bullet Girl never shows up after this outside of like cameos. I would assume part of the reason she never got picked up by other writers, I think it was because of her backstory and the taboo subject. These first few pages feature some flashbacks, and I will get back to this stuff later on when it comes into play. But this isn't Bullet Girl we're seeing here. The thing with Bullet Girl was she was married to a bloke who looked at superhero-based kiddie porn online. And this final issue brings Bullet Girl face to face with the star of the stuff her deservedly dead husband watched. So this is our villain, the object of the husband's illegal and immoral desires. She was a superpowered teenager who starred in dodgy porn, and Bullet Girl's husband was in love with her. We have a lot of stuff about the dead husband being a perv. I do think it is a fresh idea, something that has never been explored in comics before, but it is something that I wouldn't trust in the hands of most writers, and we are fortunate that it was Van Morrison handling it here. Him and Adam Moores, they are the only ones I think could do a character with an origine steeped in kiddie porn and not have it be terrible. So this is our fight between Bullet Girl and kiddie porn star. She is not remotely sympathetic here, the porn star. She is very bitter and cynical. She blames women like Bullet Girl for men turning to porn. She calls men pathetic for looking at porn. She encouraged all the dead husband's fantasies and led him on. And there is a bit too much of shoe shifting going on here. Bullet Girl, she blames kiddie porn star for everything, when really her husband was a lot more culpable, and in most people's eyes worse, because he sought that stuff out. Now we have some more shoe shifting. We get kiddie porn star's backstory. We had little bits of it at the start. And there is a lot of elements of exploitation. But what Van Morrison has cleverly done is juxtaposed a current jaded personality and unsympathetic character with a cautionary tale sort of thing, with a superhero fallen victim to the porn industry. She does have some fucked up backstory that explains why she is the way she is. And she was groomed by a sleazy superhero and more than just taken advantage of by Van Morrison has kept his head screwed on, and he has given us a fairly sombre and what some would describe as triggering sequence of events. But the end point, as we see in the scenes with her fighting Bullet Girl, is that she has taken control back, sort of. She has, like, seen the worst the world has to offer, and now she is exploiting that rather than that exploiting her. I should probably say by now, she is not quite a kiddie. She is stuck in a teenage girl's body, but that is because of her superpowers. Mentally, she isn't a vulnerable teenager. I kind of skirted around that because I didn't want it to come off like I was finding excuses or clauses to argue that this wasn't kiddie porn. It is. You're generally not privy to the mental capacity or the mental age of the star. It is physical. So for all intents and purposes, some scumbag watching this super lass strip and finger her bum, they are watching it because it is a 15-year-old teenager doing it. Thank God I have no intention of ever monetizing this channel. The sleazebag sells her into porn and she gets drugged into compliance. So yeah, she was flat out raped as well. Van Morrison has done this weird thing where she is totally like evil in the now, but she has a sympathetic and tragic backstory that explains why she is so horrible and bitter now. I mean, she even starts smoking like all bitter people do. We are done with her backstory now, and Bullet Girl, on the other hand, is incontestably sympathetic. She is, for the whole series, she is a great star and character, very likeable, easy character to root for. I think she deserved to appear in a lot more comics after this, but she mainly only shows up in the background or in other Van Morrison comics like Final Christmas. So she gets to beat the bad guy, and with each page of this comic I felt more and more uncomfortable doing this review. This is a fictional story, and I think Van Morrison does some clever stuff with it, and he avoids the pitfalls of tawdry soap opera or PSA shit. But even with Van Morrison writing, seeing a character that they have portrayed as unsympathetic get raped and lured into porn, it's not something I want to see. It is too delicate a topic for a big fat idiot on YouTube like me to discuss. It's something that I didn't really have any right to talk about. So, approaching this as a comic book and a comic book story, there is definitely some originality and some thought-provoking ideas in there. And I admire that the comic is tackling a subject that is unheard of in comics. But I think getting into that setup the way they do in this, it's too icky. I recommend this miniseries, but I'm not sure if I should. 7 thumbs up.